I am a passenger princess through and through, but even more than that, I'm a passenger princess who loves to crochet. Last month, we went on a road trip from Nashville to Michigan and back, and I crocheted almost the entire time. And it really got me thinking about how much more comfortable it should be to crochet in the car. So today we're gonna create the ultimate crochet passenger princess setup. One of the worst things about crocheting in the car is if you drop your hook and it falls down under the seat. So we're gonna try out these seat gap fillers and see if it keeps us from losing our hooks. Moment of truth. It works! Now that we know our hooks aren't going to fall into oblivion, we need somewhere to keep our hooks and our scissors and our crochet tools while we're driving. So we're gonna try out these bags. These bags literally just go like around the headrest and then down to the side. Wait, that's so easy. These bags are so cool. I'm definitely gonna leave these in the car even when I'm not crocheting. These little over the seat bags are also a perfect place to put what I would like to call our crochet first aid kit. This is a little travel kit that has metal darning needles, plastic darning needles, stitch markers, and a measuring tape. Next, let's talk about our console setup because this was the hardest thing to crack for me. I have thought long and hard, and I think I figured out the perfect crochet passenger princess console setup. Of course, we have to start with our fun cup. For on top of our fun cup, we need our little tray for our snacks. Here's where things start to get a little bit extra. I knew I wanted a tray, preferably a tray with like a grippy top to where I could quickly sit down and pick up things that I needed, like my hooks and my scissors, etc. I also knew that I wanted something that could hold my phone, iPad, Kindle, whatever I decide to bring with me for entertainment. So this is what I came up with. This goes into the cup holder first, right there. Perfect little tray so my hooks don't slide around. And then into this cup holder goes this guy. So now I can so easily just put my phone on here and watch movies. I can easily access my hooks, my drink, and my snacks. If I could only bring one thing with me while crocheting in the car, I think it would be this next item. My arm pillow! If you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been dealing with nerve damage in my arm for the last few years from crocheting. Something that my occupational therapist told me to do is when I'm crocheting, make sure to have my elbows braced on something like a table, a pillow, something that kind of like takes the strain off of them. So resting my arm like this is better than crocheting like this. I looked at a bunch of different arm pillows, but I ended up going with this one because it's inflatable. It makes it really easy to store in the car. Also, since it's inflatable, I like that you can take a little bit of air out if you need, if you want to better wedge it into certain places. Next, let's talk about traveling with your yarn. If you've been following my series, trying weird crochet things so you don't have to, you might have seen this crochet crossbody bag. It perfectly fits your skein of yarn. Your yarn goes through this hole so you can walk and crochet, but this is also just a perfect travel size bag, especially if you're not traveling with very much yarn. But what if you want to travel with more yarn, you ask? This is my favorite travel yarn bag that I've found so far. We have pockets all around the bag, including some smaller pockets specifically designed for hooks, for anything that you might need to hold. Similar to the crossbody bag, we've got the holes at the top where you can pull your yarn through so your yarn can stay in the bag, not get dirty rolling around on like the floor of your car, and it's just super easy to access. And as you can see, there's 4 holes, which means you can actually work with 4 different skeins of yarn. You just pull your yarn from the middle. I know, y'all know that I only like pulling from the outside, but that's okay. Let us know in the comments if you pull your yarn from the center or from the outside. Once you pull the yarn, you just put it through the hole. You can zip up your bag and you're good to crochet. On top of having room for these 4 skeins, there's also this section in the middle that is so big. Like I literally even fit this giant yarn cake in there. At this point, you might be thinking, well, this is just like other yarn bags. Like what makes this yarn bag my favorite yarn bag that I found so far? And the answer is the fact that it's expandable and collapsible. Not by much, but by a few inches. So let's say you're on a road trip, and at the beginning of the road trip, you have maxed out your yarn bag, right? It is completely full. You've used the entire expandable section down here. But as your trip goes on, you use more yarn. Then your bag doesn't need to be so big. You can collapse it down. It doesn't shrink a ton, but whenever you have a bunch of stuff in the car, I feel like every little bit of space counts. So that was a big selling factor for me with this bag. So we could technically stop there, but I have 3 more things to add to our ultimate crochet passenger princess setup. For this video, I consulted some of my friends who crochet, and I was talking to my friend Anne. Anne recently crocheted an adorable toy for Tilly that is a sunflower. Like, it's the cutest thing I've ever seen. And when I asked Anne what she would add to the perfect passenger princess crochet setup, she said a light. I had not thought about adding a light to this setup. But she said she was actually crocheting the toy for Tilly when she was in the car, and then it started to get dark, and then it was harder for her to see her project. And I started thinking about how every time I'm crocheting in the car on a road trip and then it gets dark, I just kind of stop crocheting because I can't see anymore. So adding this little book light that is extremely directional, you can completely focus it wherever you want it to go. You can change the tone of the light if you want it to be warmer or cooler. It's just perfect. So thank you, Anne. Our second to last item might look like a blanket, but it's not actually just a blanket. It's a blanket with sleeves. I don't think I can technically call this a Snuggie. I don't think this is actually a Snuggie. I think it's an off-brand. This is absolutely perfect. I'm definitely going to use this when I'm crocheting inside too. And lastly, for our ultimate crochet passenger princess setup, we have Carsick goggles. I have not seen myself wearing these until now. Oh my gosh. I am someone who gets car sick, and that does make it a little bit difficult to crochet in the car sometimes. I have been seeing these online everywhere, and people swear that they work. I have not tried them. I will try them for real, give them a good test, and let y'all know if these actually work or not. Allegedly, it has something to do with the fact that the water is like moving back and forth, and then you see it out of your peripherals, and then it like tells your brain that you're moving, so then you don't get car sick. I have no idea. Let me know if you've ever tried these. I'm so excited to try them and let you know if they work. Well, I think there's only one thing left for us to do to test out the ultimate crochet passenger princess setup.
Hello.
Hi, would you come drive me around so I can test out my ultimate crochet passenger princess setup?
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you to see it. I kind of look ridiculous, but in the best way possible.
I'm excited to see it. Here I come.
What do you think of my setup?
Wow. That's awesome, actually.
So look, I've got my snackies.
It opens.
It opens. I got my movie set up so I can watch some movies.
Nice.
I have my storage for all of my hooks.
That's cool.
But while I'm using them and I just want to put one down, I can just put it right there. I got my arm pillow like the occupational therapist said that I should.
Oh, is it inflatable?
It's inflatable.
That's cool.
So it'll collapse down,
Yeah.
just easy to use.
Perfect for road trips when you don't want to like have it all the time.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about my Carsick goggle?
I like noticed them, but for some reason I just didn't register it was even weird. It was just like, oh yeah, those are unique, you know?
I mean, I usually have some sort of weird glasses on.
I was like, yeah, those are unique. Yeah, okay. You want to test them?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are back from our drive, and I have a lot of thoughts about all the items that we used for our ultimate passenger princess crochet setup. Y'all know I never want to lead y'all astray, so I want to end this video by giving you my honest rating 1 out of 10 for each item that I tried. I'm going to try to do this in the order that I showed them in the video. The first thing we put in place were the little stoppers, and those are absolutely a 10 out of 10. They were super easy to install. It really did stop anything from falling down. I love them. Up next are little bags for the side of our seats. 10 out of 10 as well. I absolutely love them, and I will use them for more than just crocheting. Next, moving on to our console monstrosity. Y'all, this thing was actually pretty awful to drive around with. Even though the base of this thing like expands and contracts and is supposed to fit into any cup holder, it just kept falling over, and like honestly, I will not be using this cup holder tray thing. Since I recognize this could be user error, I might just be doing something wrong, I'm gonna give this like a 3 out of 10. I will not be using this for my passenger princess setup. I did, however, realize that I can just use the part that holds your phone and put that into the cup holder. Now that it's just the phone holder into the cup holder, like this absolutely works. It honestly still is not as sturdy as I want it to be, but it works. I would give this like a 7 out of 10. I love the aesthetic of like our little snack tray on top of our drinks. It's super cute, it's super fun. I will say that this one in particular doesn't like latch down as well as I want it to. It has this little notch and everything where it's like supposed to like clamp down. It's just not like the most secure thing. So I think I have to give this an 8 out of 10. Both of our crochet bags are an easy 10 out of 10. They're super utilitarian, they're super cute, and I will absolutely be bringing these with me whenever I'm traveling and crocheting. Y'all, I was right about the arm pillow. I said earlier that I think if there was one thing that I could bring with me while crocheting on the road, it would be the arm pillow, and absolutely. That's the thing that I hate most about crocheting in the car, is just that my arms start to hurt more than they do when I crochet at home. This pillow is amazing. I love the fact that it comes with this little like travel case thing that you can take it in. I love the fact that you can deflate it and inflate it super easily, so it's very compact, very easy to travel with. It's made of a soft material, so it feels good on your arms while you're crocheting. I feel like also if you're a passenger princess who just likes to sit on their phone and like scroll or maybe read on your Kindle, this is also like a really good find. Easy 10 out of 10 for this pillow. Our neck light is amazing. Okay, that's probably terrible to see in the video. I'm gonna turn that off. But while we were driving around, it was just now starting to get dark and it was a little hard to see the project. This made it so easy. Thank you, Anne, for the recommendation. And the light did not bother Josh while we were driving. Obviously, this is probably going to depend on who's driving, where you're driving, and what kind of light you get exactly. But for our little drive on the country roads, it worked perfectly. 10 out of 10. 2 things to go. Moving on to our blankie with the arms. What's not to love? It's a blanket with arms, so your arms don't get cold while you're crocheting. Do I think this is the most practical thing to have in the car for a crochet road trip? Maybe not. Like, I'm someone personally who just really likes to travel with big sweatshirts, so I probably will leave the Snuggie at home for at-home crocheting, and on road trips I'll probably just continue to wear sweatshirts. But if you're someone who already likes to travel with a blanket and you crochet, definitely get one of these arm blankets because it really does work really well. And lastly, it deeply saddens me to admit that, at least in my experience on one drive on really windy country roads, these things did not work at all. Everyone I've been seeing in videos has been raving about these and how much they work and how much they don't get car sick anymore. Y'all, I like made a point to make sure I didn't look up for my project as much as I could. It's not like when I'm crocheting and we're driving, I like look up a lot to make sure I don't get car sick. But I was like, no, we have to test out the car sick glasses. I was so nauseous. I can't explain. I'm sure that these are different for everyone. Probably people have different experiences with these, so let me know if you've had an experience with these. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. 0 out of 10 if I can give them 0 out of 10. They, for me, did not work whatsoever, which is devastating because I get really car sick, so I guess it was too good to be true. Well, friends, I think that concludes our ultimate crochet passenger princess video. If you're new here, I'm Holly Auna. Welcome to the Sunflower family. I'll see y'all in the next one.